All right, all right, all right. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with JJ Jara. Before I get started with today's episode, I want to go ahead and remind you that if you have not subscribed to my podcast, stop everything you're doing right now and go ahead and subscribe. You can find me on iTunes, or you could also find me on Stitcher if you're an Android user. And find me under Real Talk with JJ Jara. You can go ahead and find me on Stitcher, on Apple. If you're an Apple user, go ahead and do that. Subscribe, give me a 5-star review, and also go ahead and share the podcast. So today I have a guest, and I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and introduce you the same way that I kind of saw one of your bios. And so my guest today is someone that's a family man. Let me know if I'm on the right track, brother. Family man, husband, father, entrepreneur, business owner, and you're also a real estate coach. Am I on the right track?
So far, so good, JJ.
So far, so good. So
yeah.
I'm excited about this one, Lee, because I've known you now for about 2, maybe 3 years now.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, Lee, because sometimes you come and you cross paths with certain individuals, and certain individuals that can impact your life, your business, some way, in something, some way, somehow they impact you. And I have to be quite honest and say that you did that, because I was able to see the human being behind what everybody else, I think, gets to see from you. And I identify with that. I identify with the family man, because I'm a family man. And so when I heard about you, and then when I got to meet you in person, I said, hold up, this is someone that I definitely want to, I want to be around. That's someone that I inspire to be, and that's someone that I look up to, someone that I definitely want to become and be better as time goes by. So business owner, family man, I mean, you have beautiful family, brother.
Thank you.
Beautiful family. And so I want to go ahead and introduce you to the podcast, and to everybody, whoever's going to be watching the video also on YouTube. Lee Barrison, he's all the above and much more. I'm sure I left a lot out. And but I want to go ahead and give you a plug. I don't want to wait towards the end, brother. I want to go ahead and give you a couple minutes right now to go ahead and let everybody know where you're from, what part of California you're from, and where can they find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they if there's a real estate agent in your hometown that wants to be part of your environment, of your coaching, of your culture, your family, because I know you have a family culture too in your office. Where can they find you? Go ahead, brother.
JJ, thanks for having me, bro.
You're very welcome.
Glad to be a guest. And I feel the same. You know, I think we met down in LA first time, and right. You really rubbed off on me in a lot of different ways, bro. And it's fun to see you grow as not only as a family man, but also as a business person as well. Because I think both you and I both started at the bottom, and now we're here. You know, we're actually getting there. You know what I mean? And
we're getting there.
It's really fun to watch you. So, Lee Barrison. Let's see. Basically, you can find me. I'm located at 900 Truxtun Avenue in Bakersfield, California, about an hour and a half north of Los Angeles, an hour and a half south of Fresno. You can reach me at 661-213-6857. IG is basically, the handle's Lee Barrison. I'm the only Lee Barrison on Facebook. You're welcome to find me on there as well. Basically, we've got a brokerage here, a locally owned brokerage, Infinity Real Estate Services. Not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I feel we have one of the most intense, one of the most warmest cultures that a real estate office can provide any agent out there that's looking for a great environment, like you said, that's looking to grow their business or to just basically surround themselves with other winners. You know what I mean? Been doing this for about 18 years. Started selling real estate in late 2001. December 2nd, 2001. I was a single agent for up until 2014. Just myself and my assistant. We sold 96 houses in 2014. Then we grew a small team of 5 of us in 9 months from March 17th, 2015 to the end of 2015. We sold 141 houses. Then we branched out and hired 5 more agents. So there was 10 of us. And I'm blessed to say that, in 1 year, we exploded to being basically the most productive real estate team in Bakersfield by selling 242 houses between 10 of us, which is a per agent production of 24 units per agent.
Wow, that's impressive, buddy.
Very, very proud to be a part of that. And the reason why we branched out and decided to do our own thing, JJ, is because I want to save lives. Here I am 18 years in the business, and we've got one of the highest casualty rates in all of sales industry. And basically, I think, what did Mike say just a month ago? The average agent in the United States right now is selling 3.7 houses a year. Average shelf life of a real estate agent is 12 to 18 months. And I think the reason why is because nobody has any leadership or guidance or a positive atmosphere to dive into. And I'm here to change that shit. So that's what I'm here to do.
I love it. Lee, so I love everything you're saying, and I have to apologize. Can I tell you why?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have to apologize because I forgot to mention that real talk with JJ Jara it's exactly what the words say, real talk. So I want you to be really free, really honest. I want you to be unfiltered. I want you to be raw. I want you to say how it is. If you want to cuss, fuck it, let it be. Whatever it is they got to do, because see, Lee, I was telling you off camera that I feel that agents or people nowadays have a way to put something out on the social media platforms, but they're completely different when it comes down to being who they are, who they truly are. Yeah. And so I want people to know that there's still some real people out there, that there's still some people that keep it real, and those are the people that ultimately can help us in our business, personal, or whatever the case may be. So I want you to do that. I want you to have fun. I want you to be real. And I know that whoever listens to the podcast, whoever watches the video, they're going to be able to see and hear and listen to how real you are. Okay. And that's how they're going to connect. So sure. I want you and I to connect the same way you and I connect when we see each other. But I also want the listener. I want the person that's going to be watching on video to connect as well, because I believe Lee, that you can change a lot of people's lives. I believe the same way you're changing your agents' lives and business / life, you could change a lot of people by this podcast. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's be real with everything we're going to do. Lee, are you okay with that?
Let's fucking do this.
All right. I like that. See, that's a good way to start. Let's fucking do this. All right, cool. Why is it that on a lot of podcasts, people don't cuss? What do you think?
I think that they're fearful of what other people are going to think about them. Again, like you said earlier, I mean, Instagram is a freaking highlight reel. That's all it is. And it's all sugar. It's all fluff. And I think it's bullshit half the time, more than half the time, because if you're not real occasionally, just to at least show your true colors, then people only respect you from a superficial level. Yeah. They don't respect you as to who you really are, because you're fearful of exposing yourself and of what people might think of you.
How crazy, Lee, because I believe that a lot of times where the content we put out is to somehow get to a different level. And I'm hoping to a higher level and where people are right now in their current stage in their life or business. But I also feel that along the way we could lose our identity. And because we start being fake and we start being someone that we're truly not, we are not. And so that's really common right now. I've questioned, because I know you, but what do you think has helped Lee Barrison stay and continue to be the person you are? Because I know you're really humble. I know you're a family man. Again, I know you have a beautiful family. And I know people need to hear from people like you and me that it's okay to fuck up. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay for you to for you to have nothing right now. If that's the case, it's okay. Tell the world you ain't got shit right now, but tell the world that you're fucking grinding, that you're working, that you're hustling, like the thing that you have on the back. It's hustle. Yes. So it's okay, because I feel that a lot of people, the majority of people will connect to and relate with that, because a lot of people are struggling right now. Shit, I struggle every day.
Mm-hmm.
I face challenges every day. Shit. However, I'm not in the same position that I was a month ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago. Thank God. Why? Because we keep grinding, we keep going, we keep going at it. So why do you think Lee stays and continues to be the person that you are now, Lee?
I think it's a lot of it has to do, JJ, from coming from like humble beginnings. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up as a trust fund baby. You know, I grew up on the Lower East Side here in Bakersfield, California, which is basically the hood of Bakersfield. You know, my mom and dad weren't rich. My dad came from a working class. I came from a working class family where my dad busted his ass and grinded every fucking day. Yeah. He was a finished carpenter, hanging doors. I would be on the job sites with him. You know, when my wife and I, when we first got married, we grew up in when we first got married, we lived on the corner of South Brown and Lincoln. For those of you guys that don't know South Brown and Lincoln.
Is that the hood?
That's the hood, baby. Yeah. But it was home to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we didn't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? And it felt good. And it was a garage conversion, paid $250, $300 a month with cable. And so I think we had it all at that time. You know what I mean? You know, just to keep it real, I went to prison when I was 2 weeks after my 18th birthday. Got in trouble for possession for sales, and spent, you know, a good portion of my early adult life incarcerated. And you know, again, these are the things that I want to keep it real with you, and to let everybody know that my shit ain't perfect either. You know what I mean? And I've been through it. You know, I've had plenty of ups and downs in my life. You know, from my mom dying of a heroin addiction, you know, when I was you know, younger, and you know, me being basically in a single parent house with a mom that overdosed on me 3 times and went to prison herself twice, you know what I mean? And all this good shit, you know what I mean? But again, it's those things, JJ, in my personal life that make me feel human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not invisible. I'm not perfect, but more importantly, I'm proud to be who I am today because of what I've been through in the past. I'm proud to be who I am today by failing and falling on my fucking face over and over and over and over again. I'm okay with that, because as long as I can tell you I'm not that person I used to be, then you got to respect me for that. You know what I mean?
That's right. Lee, and you're saying all this now, and I have to tell you that I went in and listened to some of your podcasts too, because I know you have a podcast, and yeah. And people, make sure you go ahead and let everybody know your podcast. That way they can go out there and listen to your podcast too. But I went and I listened to episode number 1.
Yeah.
And I knew you, but I did not know that part about you where we talk about your mom being under a drug addiction, and your mom passing, and I didn't know that about you, Lee, and that just, when I heard it, I said, God damn, no fucking wonder Lee's who he is. He's gone through a lot of shit. Yeah. I mean, I lost my mom going on 6 years ago, Lee. Natural causes. You know, she was just, you know, she had a few health issues here and there, and so I know how it is and how hard it is to lose your mother, your mom, mm-hmm. and not to imagine to lose your mom the kind of like the way you lost your mom, I can imagine that was tough. That was tough. And I know you said on your podcast that you went through a little some time that you just wanted to die. You said that. I just wanted to die. I didn't give a shit about anything or anyone. Tell me about that, Lee. People need to fucking hear this. People need to know that, look, one escrow fell out. That ain't shit. You got rejected. That ain't shit. Your door knocking didn't pay off for a week. Come on, that ain't shit. That's some real tough shit. And that's what I feel that a lot of us that have had a rough upcoming has given us a rough and tough skin. Please go back and spend a couple of minutes and tell me about that part with your mom, Lee, because I know that must have been tough for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It was not easy at all, being a single child too, and so it wasn't like I had siblings to lean on or whatever, so like, for instance, I remember JJ, when she was wanting to get clean, I did everything I could in order to make her clean. So I basically had her tied to my hip every single day for the better half of maybe 6 months. I paid her bills, I paid her mortgage, I put food in her fridge, I gave her gas money, and so on and so forth. I did everything. And I remember the day that I found her, I found her at her house after she shortly passed. And you're right. I didn't give a shit about anything, anybody. I didn't give a shit about anything. And basically, I remember I had like 6 open escrows or 8 open escrows at the time. And I didn't give a shit if they closed or not. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any inspections. I don't forget what happened, to be honest with you. I just know I didn't do anything, and it didn't matter to me whatsoever. And again, I basically decided to stop work. I stopped being a father. I stopped being a husband. I stopped being everything that I was supposed to be. But, my wife, my biggest fan, basically pulled me aside after about 6 months of not giving a shit about anything. She goes, dude, you got to snap out of this shit. You're still a father. You're still a husband. And don't forget about that. And, shortly after that time, I did get back into the swing of things as far as being back to normal, I guess is the best way to put it. But again, that'll be something that'll never go away from me. Just like your mom passing, you'll never forget about that. You'll never forget about little moments when she was around, how happy she made your life, and so on and so forth. But with that being said, in this business alone, like you said, I mean, people get so upset about the smallest things that don't mean shit.
Yeah.
Door knocking, like you said, the people that hung up on me, oh my God, what am I going to do? I got to go home and crawl under a freaking rock. No, get over it. You got to have thick skin in this game, JJ. You know that better than anybody in this game, but you got to have thick skin, and you got to have short-term memory if you want to survive. You can't sit around and be thinking about shit for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you're going to take it to the grave with you. Get over it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Lee. So I'm laughing because I know how easy it is for us to get caught up on the small little thing. But I also know, just because I have I always tell people, I think that one of the biggest thing that I got from God, our creator, was a strong mindset. And I think I've been able to develop a stronger mindset as life goes on and we go through, through some challenging moments like the passing of our mother, family issues, business issues, being freaking bankrupt. Having freaking nothing, having a shitload of debt. I think that those are the moments that that God in life starts to connect you as far as being a great character or being a stronger human being. How do you do, and what do you do, Lee, to have a strong mindset? Because I know you have a great, strong mindset. What do you do? Let me guess, you have a morning routine. Right?
I do have a morning routine.
Tell me more about that.
Well, if you don't, then you're right. That's the time that's the time of the day that you get more shit done before most people even wake up and get their day started.
Mm.
The most important things, your health, your mental health, what you eat,
That's right.
physical health. Because without health, there is no wealth, you know what I mean? And so like, if you are focused on waking up late, staying up late, eating bad, drinking bad, doing whatever it is, the older you get, the worse it gets, you know what I mean? And it ain't going to get no better. So you're absolutely right, man. You got to have a strong mental game in this business, especially because if you don't, you're going to get eaten up alive. You know what I mean?
That's right. This
business hasn't gotten any easier mentally since I first got into it. It's gotten much, much, much more intense. There's more because of social media primarily, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lee, so I'm thinking back and I know one of the things that I forgot to mention is that you're a freaking badass top producer. You sold at high levels, and I know you mentioned your team, your office now are at 24. What is it? 24 point what?
Yeah, our per agent production before we started our office was at 24 units per agent.
Yeah, I mean that's freaking high. With everything that goes on right now, especially social media, like you mentioned, how do you stay above all the noise, Lee? How do you stay above all the day-to-day challenges by running an office, being a business owner, coaching, being a family man, being a father, being a husband, being you? I mean, I'm sure there's only this much of your day for your you time, for your quality time for Lee. How do you do it on a day-to-day basis, stay above all the outside and daily noise?
JJ, I think, it's the people that you have in your circle that really keep you focused. And like you said, keeping your head above water or whatever, I've got a great assistant. She's been with me for almost 8 years.
Nice.
She's basically my right-hand gal. You met her, Meyer, and she does take great care of me. Because she knows it's really funny, but I always tend to think that she wants this business to succeed just as much as I want this business to succeed, if not more. And when I say that, I mean it, and it's really, really hard to find people to plug into your circle, into your business that want it just as bad as you do. You can hire people, they may claim that they want it as much as you do, or, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, typically you always want it for them more than they want it for themselves or for your business and whatnot. So I do have a great backbone here at the office. Second, my wife, she's my left-hand girl, you know what I mean? And of course she keeps me going, you know what I mean? She's got a copy of my schedule. Meyer's got a copy of my schedule. Everybody has a copy of my schedule and knows where I'm at any given time or any given day. But I think some of those, that's what we call accountability, where, I don't have a lot of time to fuck off. I don't have a lot of time to be on social media and spend an hour or two a day on it. I get my social media out of the way, of course, but I don't focus on it. It's not something that I'm working on all day long or whatever. So, and again, I think it's also keeping my thoughts on what is most important, right? To me, JJ, I think what's most important for me specifically is being a husband first, a father second, and then a business person third. But when I'm in the building, I'm doing business, so that way I can hurry up and get back to what's more important, which is being a father and a husband.
Mm-hmm. Lee, what do you feel that having a great wife, the right partner on your side, do you think that's played a big role in your success? Like, I know the answer, but I need the people that are listening and watching the video, I need them to hear from you.
I love it. Well, you know just as well as I do how important it is to have a great girl in your corner.
Right.
Because I think that you and Mrs. Jara have been around for a while, right?
Yeah, 23 years strong.
I think you were 12 when you had your first, right?
Just about.
Yeah. So,
You know, us Mexicans, you know, we start young.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. So, you know what, bro? I think it's probably one of the most important things. I really do. Because when you got somebody that you love, that you really want to make proud of you in your corner, rooting you on through those tough times and those hard nights and those early mornings and nothing to show, you know, then life becomes a lot easier, you know. And I think that if you got a good spouse, a good husband, or a good wife in your corner that supports you, even though, you know, you're not making any money, you know, even though you might be falling on your face every day, you know, even though whatever, they don't look at you as status. They look at you as, that's my man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember my first year in the business, JJ, when my wife and I got married, living in the hood. I didn't sell a house for 6 months. My first 6 months getting in the business, did not sell one single house. And I literally worked, man, 12 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, coming home late, leaving before she wakes up. And, you know, it's in my DNA to be a provider for my family. And it got to the point, man, where I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm done. I'm going to get out of the business and go back to my real job. So that way I can start putting some, you know, food on the table. Well, I think partially, if it wasn't for her saying, no, you're going to keep doing this and we're going to get through this, that allowed me to still be here. You know what I mean? Because there's, you know, when your spouse looks at you more like a status or you know, what has he got it or she got it in for me? Well, then that's when the support goes out the window too.
Yeah. Yeah. Lee, I know the importance of having the right person on your corner. That's huge. That's impactful in our business. But before I go even any further, I want to go ahead and give you another plug because I know you have a podcast and I know you bring great content. So please take a moment and go ahead and let the audience know, the people know that are watching or listening. Where can they find your podcast? And again, where can they follow Lee Barrison?
What's up, guys? It's Lee Barrison with the Be Better Podcast. Okay, so it's called the Be Better Podcast. Go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, whatever it is. But yeah, thank you, JJ. It's the Be Better Podcast with Lee Barrison. It's a podcast that's designed to support local business owners here in Bakersfield, entrepreneurs,
yes.
Anybody in sales, anybody that's thinking about getting into business for themselves, anybody that's thinking about getting out of the business for themselves, anybody that wants to be better, whether it be spiritual, wealth, health, it doesn't matter. We talk about it all. We have great guests on the show. So yes, definitely subscribe, and everybody needs to subscribe to the Real Talk podcast with JJ Jara as well. But that being said, that's where to find me on the podcast world. Of course, again, you're always able to find me on Instagram, Facebook. Just type in Lee Barrison, I'll be right there. So
I love it. To keep it real, this is something that's really, really common. It's always been common. I think right now we're going to start see it more, Lee. And you mentioned something about it a few minutes ago, that at one point when you first started, you thought about quitting and just say, fuck it, I'm done with this. I haven't sold nothing in 6 months. Lee, there's a lot of people that are going to listen to a podcast, they're going to watch the video, and they're perhaps in that mindset right now because shit's not going their way. Perhaps they haven't closed anything, or they only closed 2 or 3 this year. What can you say to that individual that perhaps is thinking about quitting right now, giving up? What I've just never been there, Lee. I'll be really honest with you. I'm 150,000% in on everything I do, and so coming in real estate, that was never not even a thought. However, you went through it. How were you able to overcome that mindset, and what kept you in the game? Because look, thank God to your wife that had to slap you around, and you're still here. Look, you're not only have you changed your family, your business, but you impact a lot of other people by helping them in real estate now as a coach. So what made you change that mindset?
I just think that in order to persevere, in order to have anything great in life, it's going to take you're going to have to get punched in the throat a few times. You're going to have to fall on your face a few times, because nothing great comes easy.
Yeah.
Thomas Edison didn't freaking create the light bulb in one shot. He was just fucking obsessed with the process. The Wright brothers, when they got their first airplane in the ground, I think, 6 to 8 people died in the process of trying to figure out how to put an airplane in the sky without making it fall, right? And so there was obviously lives in jeopardy. So again, anybody out there that's thinking about quitting, or anybody out there that's thinking that they are a failure, you're first off, you're not a failure until you quit. You know what I mean? But again, I think people take themselves too seriously sometimes. Sometimes they just need to take a step back and say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna dust myself off. I'm gonna get right out there. I'm gonna start swinging again. But again, it's so in our society. I think, JJ, that's part of the problem, is that it's so people in today's society. We're talking about Instagram. We're talking about the millennials. We're talking about social media. These people want instant gratification, right? So they try it for a month. It didn't work. I'm out. I'm going on to my next project. Bullshit. You need to try it for 6 months. You need to try it for a year. As a matter of fact, a real business shouldn't even be profitable, statistics show, for at least 2 to 3 years. That means they're in the hole. They're willing to struggle and endure the pain and continue until they make a fucking profit. And that profit ain't $1 million either. That profit is like a couple $100 a month. And they're like, woo, yeah, we made a couple $100. You know what I mean? So, if you're thinking about quitting because you tried it for a month and it's not working, well, then try it another month, and try it another month, and try it another month, and be obsessed, and don't even think about the process. Just think about the outcome. Think about what the payday is going to look like if you just continuously get punched in the throat and keep getting up and keep swinging,
Why do you think people give up so fast, though, Lee? Because I know a lot of people do give up. A lot of people do quit. Why do you think that is?
I think it's instant gratification. People in today's world, in our society, everyone wants an instant response. If you have an algebra question that you can't figure out because your kid is 3 times smarter than you, what do? Go to Google. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want the news? Hey, no need to wait for the paper to show up at your front door. Just lean over when you wake up and grab your iPhone and then go to Facebook. Boom, there's your news. And it's like that everywhere we go nowadays. So everyone wants that immediate response, but they're going to get mediocre results, assuming that immediate response though too.
That's right. Now, Lee, before we start to wrap it up, I just want to take a couple minutes and go back to, because I know you start as a solo agent, then you start as a small team, and now you have a brokerage, a successful real estate office. What kind of advice? Because I've actually had someone reach out to me yesterday through social media, and they asked me this question: what kind of advice will you give to an agent, a solo agent that wants to go out and start a team? When can someone know if they're ready to start a team? And I'm asking this question with a big smirk on my face, with a big smile on my face, because I know kind of like what you're gonna say, but I want people again to hear from you. When is it the right time for you to start a team, and should you start a team if you're thinking about? Because it's like a trend right now. Everybody wants to be a team.
Yeah, that's a trend. Okay, so that's a good question, because I get asked that question too. So let me answer. So in 2012, I was closing about 40 to 45 transactions on my own as a single agent, no assistant. So then I had my coaching call with my coach, and I asked him, because I was kind of like, I I was scrambling for time. I was getting home late, coming in early. Deals are kind of going sideways a little bit because a lack of focus. And so my coach basically says, that 40 to 45 transaction is typically the time that you want to expand your business because that's when the single agent can, that's where he's kind of like busting at the seams, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So he goes, but do not hire a buyer agent first. Hire an assistant, an executive assistant, to take away all the little shit that takes up your time. Right? So he says, once you hire an assistant, then you have 4 jobs. Prospect, lead follow-up, go on appointments, get contracts signed. He or she does everything else. Answer the phone, lock boxes up, lock boxes down, signs, photos, marketing remarks, negotiating offers, requests for repairs, everything. That's the assistant's job. And your job is 4 things: prospect, lead follow-up, go on appointments, and negotiate offers.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, fair enough. So then I hired an assistant. And then with my assistant, the following year, we went from 45 to 60. The next year, we went to 75. And then our goal for 2014 was to close 100 transactions on my own, not by hiring a big, massive team of buyer agents I'm splitting all my commissions with, but just her and I. And, we fell short. We closed 96 instead of 100, but it was still a pretty damn good year. And then we decided to hire a buyer's agent. But here's the thing, JJ, I'm sure you see this, and everybody out there, I'm sure sees this as well. And to answer that person's question is that you see teams building a team, right? Or you see an agent. And what is their first hire typically?
Buyer's
agent.
Buyer's agent.
Yep. Maybe 2 of them, maybe 3 or 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
But they don't ever hire an executive assistant first.
Yeah.
And I think this is the reason why, is because they're so fearful by hiring a salary-based person that, oh my God, what if I can't afford her? Oh my God, what if she's not happy? What if I can't feed her family? Oh my God, what if I can't pay her bills? Instead, I'm going to go hire a buyer's agent because I don't have to pay them shit until they go sell something first.
Right.
Right? But yet, if you think about it, if you're on a 50-50 split with that agent, okay, a buyer's agent, that means that they're taking 50% of your income for what, 30%, 50% of your business that year.
Yes.
That's a lot of fucking money.
It is.
Right? And if you hire a damn good assistant, say it, I don't know, $30,000 a year, well, trust me, you can make that $30,000 up by closing 5 or 6 more transactions. But what that assistant does is it frees you up for time for money-making activities to where 80%, 90% of your day, you're in money-making mode, meaning you're focusing on 3 hours of prospecting, 1 hour lead follow-up, 2 or 3 hours of going on appointments per day, and then negotiating the offers to put into escrow, and then you go next, right? And it just makes more sense. So that's the thing. Nowadays, people want to start a team. Why? Well, because I'm closing 15 transactions and I don't think I can handle 20 because I might lose my mind. Dude, suck it up. You still have plenty of gas in you, right?
That's right.
Oh, but I'm doing like 20. I'm top producer of my company. You suck. 20 ain't shit. Do 40, do 50, and then come talk to me because you still have more juice in the squeeze, right? But so many people, I don't know if it's just being lazy. I don't know if it's because building a team is, like you said, it's the new thing nowadays. People just want to do it because, I don't know, they want to give away half of their income.
Yeah.
But again, if they stop focusing on the team building and get to 40 to 45 transactions, get to the point to where where your wife isn't happy with you anymore because you're never home.
Okay, that's a good one.
Then you're doing something right.
Yeah, that's right. Lee, do you think it could be an ego thing too?
100%, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, I got top producer of my company last month. I sold 2 houses. One was mine. It was a short sale. It was overpriced, but I got it done. Do you know who I am? I went to school for 3 months to get this real estate license.
Yeah.
Dude, know yourself, bro.
Yeah. So I hear all the time, and I think it boils down more to an ego thing. Because again, I feel like it's a trend right now, and they want to go ahead and do the they want to go ahead and put on the business cards the Lee Barrison team, the JJ Jara team, the John Smith team, and right. I think it's more of an ego thing, and also going back to the production shit, man, how can you start a team if you don't have the production yourself? How can you start a team if you haven't even earned your freaking stripes as a solo agent?
Yes. And, you know, here's another thing, JJ, is that as a team lead, right, if you want to be that team leader, right, then you have to have inventory to sell all the time.
That's right.
So if you're carrying one listing or two listings, bad combination.
Yeah. So it's that. I feel like it's that, the ego, I don't want to do too much. I'll just hire somebody else to do some of my work. A lot of BS, in my opinion. I'm sure you feel the same way. Lee, before we end the podcast, I want you to go ahead and give 5 tips, 5 things that Lee could go ahead and give us advice to your new agent, to your seasoned agent, someone that wants to go from a team, to a solo to a team, someone that's a husband, a father, someone that has an office, somebody that's a lead, has a lead role on a team. 5 things, and doesn't have to be a specific or doesn't have to be on a specific thing. 5 great tips that you could give to anyone that's going to be listening to the podcast. What will those 5 things be? And like I said, it doesn't have to be in specific order. 5 great things that you know that if you say them out loud, you put them out there, shit, you're going to change people's lives. All
right. Well, number 1, JJ, is never spend your money or your commission until you pay your taxes, okay? Because a lot of agents, they'll get a $10,000 paycheck and then they spend 12 before they even walk out the front door of their office, okay? So don't ever spend money or your commissions till you pay taxes. Number 2, buy or spend your money on appreciating assets versus depreciating assets. Okay, so if you guys want to retire early, if you guys want to have a residual stream of income, if you guys want to be able to do what you want, when you want, how you want, as often as you want, then you have to get over yourself and stop buying such big vehicles, big watches, shit that depreciates the second you buy it. But buy residential income real estate as often as you possibly can. Go look for the deals. When you're prospecting for your clients, start prospecting for yourself as well. You know, when you're looking for units to buy, or if you have a client that's looking for units to buy, go buy them before your clients do, okay? And if you don't have the funds, go find them because they're everywhere. Go create the funds. Go get a hard money loan. Go sell something. Go sell that depreciating vehicle you keep driving around.
Yeah.
Number 3, practice your ass off. Practice your ass off, okay? So, you know, your standard NFL football team right now, they practice 80 hours a week to play a 3-hour game on Sunday. And how often, if you practice 80 hours a week, how good would you be as a real estate agent, right? But yet the thing is that the ego gets in the way. There's multiple excuses as to why they don't practice or why we don't practice, and so therefore they're mediocre at best. Kiss your kids goodnight every single night. Kiss them goodnight and never ever say I love you, or it's okay to say I love you as often as possible. There's never a limit as to how many times you can say that to your loved ones. That's number 4, right?
Yes.
All right, number 5. Become obsessed with the process.
Yeah.
Okay, so become obsessed with everything that you do. You know, if there's something great in life that you want to do, if it's been done once, it can be done again. You know, it may seem like a stretch, it may seem like a long shot, but again, if it's been done once, it can be done again. And it takes a lot of perseverance and hard work, but become obsessed with the process, and then the perseverance and hard work become a lot easier.
That's right. Lee, 5 great things, and I wrote down every single one of them. They're written actually really good, all 5 of them. And one that number 4, you know, to kiss your kids and tell them I love you all the time. I've never heard that one, but perhaps it's because I've never talked to a family man like you before. And again, I go back to who you are, brother, and why I was able to identify with you when we first met, because it goes back to who you truly are. You could have said some, like 1,000 different other things, yet you chose to say that as far as one of your great 5 tips to the listener, to whoever's going to be watching the video. So I thank you for that. Personally, I thank you for that, brother.
Yeah,
That helps me be able to help other people. And I'm sure those 5 things, if people just implement one of those 5 things in their life, in their career, game changer. Lee, I want to thank you, brother. I know you got things to do. You're a busy man. You running a business out there. You still got to go home and be a father and be a husband. I thank you for your time, bro. I really appreciate you. I know for a fact this podcast is going to change people's lives. Even if it's one person, bro, then we did our part.
Yeah.
Even if it's one person. Because I believe, Lee, that I could go ahead and talk to someone here in front of me, but if we go ahead and use a platform like the one we're using and impact hundreds, thousands of lives, why fucking not?
Got to be one person out there, right?
You have to. So thank you for that, brother. I really appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you at the Mike Ferry Superstar Retreat.
Yeah, baby. Yep.
You're going to be there. Is your whole office going to be there? Half of your office, part of your office?
Just a good 2 handfuls right now, yeah.
Good. Awesome. Yeah. Well, listen, I've again, it's a pleasure having you part of the podcast, brother. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your knowledge. I appreciate your human side, your human being side. I appreciate everything that you have to bring, brother. I appreciate you as a human being, period. That's it. I think that's, again, going back, I think that's what got me identified with you, who you really are. So I thank you. Say hello to your beautiful wife for me. And for all the listeners, this is another episode with JJ and Lee Barrison, and I'll make sure that we leave your handles and everything else, the video, and also here. Until the next one, this is another episode, Real Talk with JJ Jara. Next.